I am hiding from the sun because I burn a lot. Hello, curiosities, and welcome to day 4 of my 30 and 30 and 30. That's 30 days of 30 things I've learned in my 30 years on this planet. Today, I am in the beautiful Griffith Park for a photo shoot to help out a friend of mine. And okay, so I was gonna do a completely different video today, but because of what happened, I feel like I should move on to a different one on my list. So I'm in Griffith Park today to help a friend out shoot for her Etsy page. I believe it's Roxy Rose Designs. I will put the link in the description below, so you should definitely check out her stuff. It's amazing, especially if you're into like fairy jewelry and such the like. So there are 2 places where directions were basically unclear where we were possibly meeting. And the directions we were given actually brought us up to Amir's Garden. If you're not familiar with Amir's Garden, it's this beautiful place in Griffith Park where I believe most of the hillside had been charred by a fire, and in 1971 this immigrant by the name of Amir decided to, by hand, climb up the hill and plant all these beautiful plants and flowers to revitalize the area. It is gorgeous. However, there are stairs up to this garden, and oh my gosh, it's like 0.3 miles of just stairs, and they're just not normal stairs. They're also a little taller than normal. So every time I raised my knee, it was like stepping up, I want to say 1.5 feet instead of what a normal stair is. So that just like extra like, trying to get up. And 0.3 miles is not a long time if you're moving straight. When you're walking up extremely steep stairs that feel like they're practically going up vertical, carrying a large duffel bag and 2 folding chairs, not gonna lie, not great. But the view from the top was beautiful. If you ever want to question your sense of will to exist, I highly recommend hiking up the stairs to Amir's Garden, because your will to live will go away real fast. Real fast. So when we got up there, me and one of the makeup artists realized we were at the wrong location because no one else was there, and so we called and realized it was at the bottom of the hill, right next to this little parking lot. So you can see the Cardis right there, and they're just over there. So much easier hike from your car, obviously, than what we just did. And we were talking, and we're like, we're so sorry, we went to the wrong location. And she was very sweet. She was like, no, I gave you the directions to the wrong place. I'm sorry. We should have clarified everything. And that is what today's lesson is going to be about. To the lesson. Don't be afraid to clarify. So obviously on this channel, we love curiosity. We love it to pieces. I highly encourage it in every aspect of your life. However, as you get older, it's sort of squashed, I've noticed. Like there's less freedom to be curious and ask questions. You're expected to know things, just even if you have no reason to know them, you're just expected to know things. And I don't know if that's actually what society says, or there's this part in our brain that tells us, oh, we're adults now, so we're expected to know things. Weirdly enough, studies show that someone who asks questions is thought to be more intelligent than someone who just says, no, I got it. In my experience, people never mind questions. The only time they are bothered by questions of clarification is if they've had to tell it to you like 25 times, because people don't tend to like to repeat themselves because they feel like you didn't listen the first time. However, everybody learns differently, and most people are very understanding that sometimes your brain just doesn't retain things. So please, don't be afraid to clarify. So once upon a time in San Francisco, I was waiting for a friend to get out of the changing room at an Old Navy, I think it was. Anyway, so this woman walks up to me and she's like, you look like a creative person. You'd have to be with that hair. And first, no, just my stylist would have to be a creative person for me to have that hair. But, you know, whatever. So she sits down next to me and she's like, my mother's birthday is tomorrow, and I'm trying to think of something fun and new and creative to do with her. Now, this woman is at least in her late 50s, which means her mother has got to at least be probably 70s, 80s. And so I'm trying to rack my brain. I'm like, I don't really know what a 70 or 80-year-old woman would like. I don't know this woman because everybody's different. For instance, when I'm 70 or 80, I will act far different than my 80-some-year-old grandmother does now because we're very different people. I ask her, well, what'd you do last year? She's like, well, last year we went to a club and that was really fun. And I'm like, whoa, this grandmother sounds awesome. So I'm like, oh, well, give me some time to think about it. She's like, okay, I'll come right back. I gotta help some customers. So I'm pondering, and I'm like, okay, I don't really do clubs. I didn't even do them when I was 21. They're just not really my thing. I like dancing well enough, but I really like talking to people and connecting. And when the music is like, bam, 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 you can't really hear anything. So you don't want to do that. So I get an idea of this coffee shop that I really love. It's an S&M coffee shop called Wicked Grounds. They do sometimes educational classes, and it's got erotic art on the walls, and just really kind of fun environment. So I was like, well, that'd be kind of nice. So I tweeted out to the internet and was like, hey, here's my predicament. Woman asked me about, where to take her mom, and I thought maybe an S&M coffee shop would be kind of interesting. So she returns before I get an answer back from Twitter, and she's like, well, have you thought about it? And I'm like, well, have you ever been to Wicked Grounds? And she's like, Wicked Grounds? Sorry, there's a bee thing. It keeps trying to fly at me. And she's like, what's that? And I'm like, well, it's an S&M coffee shop. And she gets this look on her face that's somewhere between confused and just not sure what to do with me. And she repeats, Wicked Grounds? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I will have to Google it. And then she walked away. And I was like, all right. In this time, I am able to look at Twitter, and just so that you don't judge me, at least half of you were like, no, that sounds like a terrible idea. But the other half of you were like, yes! 80-year-old women love S&M coffee shops. Do it! So at least 50% of you are as terrible as I am. But maybe you're like, you know what? That seemed like a good suggestion. But as I lingered on her confused expression, it occurred to me, when she said she took her mother to a club, she probably meant we had tea and biscuits with Mitzi, rather than it's cage night and ladies drink for only $2. Again, never, ever, ever be afraid to clarify. I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you tomorrow.